Hunter Tim's crew. What's going on, everybody? This is your girl, Melanie Jones, and this is our Mental Health Mondays. Just checking in with y'all, Hunter Tim's crew. Y'all throw some hundred signs in the chat. Make sure you smashing that like button. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Well, y'all, I'm back with another Mental Health Monday. Just showing, just highlighting some warning signs. Again, trigger warning, trigger warning. Some of these clips, some of these subject matters may be triggering for some. This is sensitive subject matter, but this is more so to shed light and bring awareness of the importance of mental health and checking in with your loved ones if you see signs of them having mental health struggles, and even doing self checks and self awareness. Sometimes we maybe feeling different or feeling low or feeling nervous or anxious or things like that, or feeling uneasy. It's always best to try to speak to someone, go to counseling, a pastor, a priest, if you're a person of faith. Check yourself into a hospital, into the mental ward, just maybe do a self-exam, or what I'm saying, just to get yourself back on the right track. But definitely, if you see signs and symptoms in your loved ones, or again, people, your partners and things like that, that can be red flags, before they get, before situations escalate and get to severe situations, basically. Um, the first sign of mental illness, the first example of mental illness, I'm going to play a clip. And again, this is a trigger warning. This comes out of New York City, my hometown, where I don't even know what to call this person. I don't know. A mentally ill person um, took advantage sexually of a deceased homeless person's body on a New York City train. And police are still searching for him. I'm just gonna play a brief clip, and I'll read you guys some of the story. All right, you guys, give me one moment. And I don't believe there's any sound on it, so I'll just read here. It says, shocking New York police hunt, man accused of sexually abusing homeless man's corpse on a subway after robbing him. So a homeless man passed away of natural causes on the trains. If you're not familiar with New York City, or if you don't live here, or for those that do live here, we definitely know homelessness is prevalent, in New York City, especially on the trains. And a homeless man passed away, again, due to natural causes. And instead of, calling for help or checking on him or trying to, provide CPR, I don't know, or call the cops, this this mentally ill person, decided to abuse him sexually, and trigger warning. We're gonna go. This story takes place in Lower Manhattan in New York City. And it says here, a man, and shout out to ABC News, and Fair Use. It says a man is accused of a heinous crime in the New York City subway. According to the police, the suspect is wanted for having sex with the corpse of a homeless man on a southbound R train in the vicinity of the Whitehall Street subway station in Lower Manhattan just before 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday. He is wanted for sexual misconduct. Investigators said he is not believed to have known the victim. The deceased appears to have died of natural causes at some point before the crime occurred, police said. I mean, I'm guessing that the silver lining to this is that the man was passed away before this happened to him. But that's such a violation, to violate that man in his passing. Oh, the suspect was last seen wearing a blue baseball cap, black hooded jacket, and a yellow hooded sweatshirt, jeans, red and white sneakers, and was carrying a backpack. And that's the clip that you saw. That was a picture of the man that did this heinous crime to that homeless deceased body. And they are urging people to call this hotline if you have any tips. So that's why I wanted to bring awareness to it, because people like this need to be in a facility. People like this need to be mentally evaluated, they need help, and possibly medicated. So our due diligence as New York City residents, and also this could have happened in another city, possibly another city that has a metro transit, mass transit and things like that. This could have happened in another city, or if you find yourself, um, you know, finding out, random people or just doing, just off things, mentally off the wall acts like this. And if you spot the person or if you see the person, please call into your local tip hotline so these people can be treated, because a lot of times, homelessness, the majority of the times the cause of homelessness is mental illness and untreated mental illness. They're urging anyone with information regarding this incident to call NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS. That's 577-8477. And for Spanish, 1-888-57-PISTA or 5774782. I'm sorry, that Spanish number again is 1-888-57-74782. And you can also go to Crime Stoppers at NYPDonline.org or on Twitter or X at NYPD Tips. So yeah, y'all. So again, that's just one form of mental illness. Again, that whatever he has going on is beyond our control. But if anyone spots, this gentleman, please let the police know, because if he can do that to an unalive body, Lord only knows what he can do to someone that's alive. You get what I'm saying? So moving on, switching gears, y'all. Switching gears, we are going to go over to another example of mental illness that we need to be aware of and be vigilant about. I feel is a form of mental illness that plays a part in mental illness. Is domestic violence. I think mental illness is a prevalent part of domestic violence. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, again, I'm nobody's board certified anything. I'm nobody's registered nurse. I'm nobody's board certified therapist or psychiatrist. But to want to harm your loved one or yourself screams mental illness to me. Okay. And before it gets physical, notice the signs before the quote unquote crash out. The raising of voices. And again, this with your partner, you're definitely going to have disagreements. Arguments may get elevated in volume and heightened in emotion. But there's a difference between we had a heated argument versus you are physically trying to harm me or harm yourself. And for me, this is a red flag of this person being mentally ill, and this woman needs to try to get herself out of this situation. Check this clip out, y'all. Trigger warning.
I promise.
Why are you breaking this like this?
Now,
why are you doing this?
Oh, for real?
Can you please leave me alone?
Why am I breaking this?
Can you please let me close the door? Can you stop?
For real, Rosie?
Why are you doing this? I've asked you numerous times to stop.
Because you feel for your safety, right?
Because I want you to stop.
Now you're setting me up, right?
No, I'm not.
That whole thing. Again, if that was if that were a man on the other end of that door and a woman, had a complete and utter meltdown like that and broke a door down like that, I would say, sir, get a restraining order, try to get yourself out that situation. That was a complete and utter meltdown. A complete and utter meltdown. He broke the entire door down. and then further had a meltdown in the, off camera in the hallway, and muttering some words. I don't even know what he was, I couldn't understand. But again, that's, for me, is giving clear signs of mental illness. And a lot of people go, well, why do people videotape these things? Why do people capture these things and put it on social media? Sometimes these videos and posting them on social media is all the evidence that you have, or the evidence that you need to help, get restraining orders granted, to help get these people, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? To help get people, placed in mental facilities and committed in mental facilities. That's the word I'm looking for. Committed into mental facilities so they can get the help that they need. Because if he can break that door down like that, God forbid, I don't even want to see what he can do to her. So I hope this woman, I try to follow up with these stories. So I try to, I follow them on social media, on Instagram. So I'm just looking to see if there are any updates with her story, to see, if she left him or if he's getting the help that he needs. But I implore you, ma'am, I urge you to get out of that situation, because that is not healthy. That is a very toxic situation, and it's already getting physical. He's breaking that. He's breaking out physical, physically breaking objects. You don't want that to come to you next, because he's going to run out of things to break. So I wish her all the best. And again, my heart goes out to her, and my heart goes out to him as well, because again, like I said, he was muttering something that was kind of like inaudible. I couldn't really understand him, and it just seems like he's really going through something mentally, to me. So before it gets physically violent on you, ma'am, I would just really urge you to get out of that situation, get out of that home with him, or if that is your home, have the police escort him out, because that is not a safe environment to me. That gave me chills to see him breaking down that door like that. I was like, wow. And I said that, and I say that because situations like that can escalate into this. And for me, this is the highest form of mental illness, which is narcissism. And let's get into this clip, y'all. Give me one moment, okay? Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Now, this is a judge. This woman is a judge out in Pennsylvania, okay? A judge, y'all. So, again, like I said, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning.
Last year, February 2024, prosecutors saying McKnight was the only person who could have shot her ex-boyfriend, Michael McCoy, in that home. McCoy said he could not see when he woke up in excruciating pain during the overnight hours of February 10th. He couldn't tell who shot him, but he was adamant that he did not shoot himself. And to his knowledge, McKnight was the only other person in the home when he went to bed. We heard from Cumberland County District Attorney Sean McCormack just shortly ago about the case he was prosecuting to help avoid any conflicts of interest with county and state law enforcement.
I think what I talked about in my closing is using your common sense. That's what I urge the jurors to do. There were two people in that house, and only two people in that house, and one of them, the one who was shot, said he did not shoot himself. The logical conclusion is the other person did it.
The McKnight was led out of the courtroom after the verdict was read in handcuffs. She was being taken to the Dauphin County prison as she had her bail raised to $3 million after the convictions occurred earlier today. A sentencing is set for May. However, her defense attorney indicated that he intends to appeal the verdict that came out of court today. He said that he simply just does not agree with what prosecutors argued and that McKnight did not shoot McCoy. But again, she will face sentencing in May and was taken to the Dauphin County prison after the verdict was read today. Again, Sonia McKnight, district judge here in the Harrisburg area, convicted of attempted murder and aggravated assault.
So, that part. So for me, when I saw this story and I started reading about it, the first word that came to my mind was narcissist. This woman is a narcissist. She serves as a judge, which, someone that should be fair, impartial, want to ensure that justice is brought about to the land, and is an officer of the court, an officer of the law, and sworn oath to uphold the laws of the land. But she actually not only broke them, she was found guilty of them, and then tried to lie and manipulate the situation because her boyfriend said they were the only two in the home and he didn't shoot himself. How can you shoot yourself in your own sleep? So she's insisting that she, didn't shoot her boyfriend. But however, she was found guilty, of attempted unalivement, as you guys heard. So let me just read this for you guys real quick. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you another reason why I feel like she's a narcissist. So Sonia M. McKnight, 58, a magisterial judge, was convicted of attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges on Wednesday after nearly killing her boyfriend, Michael McCoy. The incident took place in February of 2024 after McCoy asked McKnight to move out of his home and attempted to end their relationship. She supposedly agreed to move out, but later that night went rogue and shot McCoy in the head as he was sleeping. He woke up blind, with excruciating head pain, and McKnight called 911 but was unable to explain what happened. She went as far as denying the shooting, claiming that she was asleep and woke up to his screams, though she was the only person in the home. McCoy was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot wound that went through and through, and from right to left temple. He was left blind in his right eye. The investigation at the scene produced a gun in McCoy's name and gunpowder on her hands, despite her denying the crime. So not only was she the only one in the home, gunshot residue, the powder, was on her hands, and the gun was registered in her name. Yet she still insists she didn't do it. Now, I'm pretty sure a woman of her stature and her caliber has home security cameras and things like that. So they would have seen someone, trying to break in, or, well, I'm sorry, she was at his home. So I'm pretty sure nowadays a lot of people have security cameras and things like that. Or even if he didn't have security cameras at his own home, security cameras are in the surrounding area, whether it be at a business or someone else's home. It would have gotten someone else on camera breaking into the home and attacking this man. So she's now trying to manipulate, lie, pathologically lie. She couldn't even explain the situation, and rewrite history and manipulate the narrative, which fits the description of a narcissist. Here's where it gets crazier, y'all. As if it's not crazy enough as it is, right? So here's where it gets crazier. What makes it even crazier is that McKnight also shot her ex-husband in the groin back in 2019. All because he wouldn't help her move furniture. In that situation, she got off under the guise of self-defense. So she was able to manipulate that situation back in 2019 to get herself off of that attempted unalivement. Under the guise of self-defense. Pathological lying, manipulation, false sense of reality, changing narratives, those are all characteristics of narcissism, which is, to me, the highest form, in which some psychologists and psychiatrists consider the highest form of mental illness. The mere fact you are trying to convince yourself and change reality to make it fit your narrative, to make yourself be less accountable for your actions, or not accountable at all. You're in complete denial. You're delusional. You really believe in your own false reality. That is a strong case of mental illness. And it's very scary because people like that, now you see her right here, this judge right here, she swore an oath to uphold the law and to enforce the law. But what did she do? She broke the law. Not once, but twice. And these are the only two incidences that were reported. Because she almost unalived this current boyfriend. So, and she couldn't explain herself out of this situation. Now, the first ex-boyfriend back in 2019, she just decides to shoot him because he wouldn't move furniture. That's mentally wolf right there. And you're a judge. So the law just went out the window in your head. You were justified in what you did. So again, y'all, I said that to say, if you see signs of narcissism in people, pathological lying, manipulation, changing realities, fitting, so narratives fit them, fit that person. They come out as the hero. They're never the villain. They don't do anything wrong. They blame everybody else for everything that they're doing. They project their actions on other people. Oh, well, no, you did that to me. I didn't do that to you. Then they play victim. All while they're manipulating the situation. They're manipulating the scene. They're manipulating other people to fit their reality and fit their narrative that they did nothing wrong. This type of person is a very dangerous person, as we can see a judge herself, 58 years old, just letting off hot lead in people when she gets pissed off. That is very scary. She needs to be locked up before she takes someone's life. She needs to be locked up. She needs help. So I said that to say, y'all, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Replay crew, make sure you smash that like button. I said that to say, y'all, make sure y'all mental health is in order. If y'all see some things and signs and symptoms in people that seem a bit off, someone was, acting one way, and then their demeanor, their attitudes, their temperament totally changed in a drop of a hat, or of a certain situation, or if you tell the person no or refuse to do something that they don't want to do, and they immediately switch off on you and become violent or very perturbed or very agitated by it, take that as a red flag to get yourself out that situation, because it can escalate into situations like this with this judge right here. That's wild. But I appreciate you guys, and drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think. And check in with me with y'all mental health. How are y'all doing out here? You know what I'm saying? Again, day to day, bills will have you stressed out. Bills will make you depressed. Going to the mailbox just make you go, not today. So y'all, I just want y'all to, I want y'all to be good on the Tim's crew. I want y'all to be good mentally. And again, like I said, if you feel yourself slipping into a depression, if you feel yourself low, and just you may not see hope or light at the end of tunnels and things like that, please, there are resources out here for you. Please don't take matters into your own hands. Don't take your own life. Please call this hotline right here, 1-800-273-TALK. There are counselors on the other end of those lines for you. Just check in with you. They can give you good resources with it, maybe some counseling services in your area, in your state, in your city, your town. Check yourself into a hospital if you really feel it's getting to the point where you just can't handle things. You're feeling overwhelmed, or voices are telling you to hurt your loved ones or hurt yourself. Please check into a local hospital. Also, if you find yourself in an unsafe domestic situation with your partner, your family members, and things like that, someone in your home, please call this hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, or go to the hotline.org. And visit that, please, y'all, and try to get some resources in your state, in your town, your city, in your area. And y'all just be good and try to be good to one another. Be good to yourselves. It's always good to take a mental break. Just like we go on vacation from work, go on vacation from social media. Sometimes you have to go on vacation from family and friends. I don't know how much you can go on vacation from your kids, but what you can do is send them on vacation sometimes, maybe summer camp, or to a friend's house, or to a family member's house, maybe for a weekend or a day or two, to give yourself a mental break, especially single parents. But again, just kind of know yourself a bit and learn the patterns of others. And again, like I said, if you're in a relationship with someone, or if you're in a friendship, anything with someone, and the moment you tell them no, and they just switch up on you, and you see a darker side to them, run. run. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. And I definitely wouldn't want that situation to escalate into what we saw in these clips today. So I appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all, 100 Times crew. And check in with me in the comments and let me know how you guys are doing mentally. Again, you don't have to, relay your personal business in the comments, but just let me know, today wasn't a good day. And again, if for those that are not having a great day today, I pray that tomorrow is a better day for you. But just know it gets better. Just know each day you wake up is a day for a new chance. It's a new day for a new chance. And things always get better with time. And I'm praying for each and every one of y'all. And I hope y'all praying for me too. Pray good things, okay? Thank you in Jesus' name. All right, y'all, 100 Times crew. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all, and I'll catch y'all later.